Good morning students, welcome you all to lecture 7 part 2 on types of tillage. Tillage based on the timing of operation is broadly classified into preparatory tillage or preparatory cultivation or after cultivation or inter-tillage. What is preparatory? The operation which is carried out before the sowing, we call it as preparatory tillage, and after cultivation or inter-tillage we call it as operation carried out after the sowing. And preparatory tillage is classically consisting of the primary tillage and the secondary tillage and layout of seedbed. For making an ideal condition of the soil for sowing, what all the operation is done is under the preparatory tillage. What is primary tillage? The primary tillage we also call it as plowing. Remember, primary tillage we also call it as plowing is an operation or opening of the compacted soil with the help of different plows such as country plow, MB plow. We generally remove the compact soil or opening up of the compact soil, we call it as plowing, and plowing is done to cut open, very important term, cut open and to invert the soil, uproot the weeds and stubble. Then optimum time for plowing decided by the soil moisture status. It is very important to decide at what moisture content we need to go for plowing. At a lower moisture, at a higher moisture results in formation of a clouds. The next is, if soil is plowed when it is dry, there is formation of big cloud and demands enormous energy and difficult to operate. When too wet condition, it is unfavorable for plowing as soil sticks to the plow. There will be formation of hard pan in the subsoil layer. The clod formed will be very hard after the drying. The optimum ratio of soil moisture plowing is 25 to 50% depletion of available soil moisture. If you consider at field capacity, if it is 100% moisture content, you can go a condition of the soil when 50% of the moisture has been evaporated. So under such condition, you can go for the plowing. Light soil can be plowed in a wide range of soil moisture condition, whereas heavy soil will have narrow range of soil moisture plowing. The next, the depth of the plowing. It depends upon the effective root zone. The two tap-rooted crops have deep root require deep plowing, whereas shallow-rooted crops demands for the shallow to medium plowing. The number of plowing necessary to obtain a good till depend upon the soil type, weed problem, crop residue on the soil. In heavy soil, 3 to 5 plowing are necessary, whereas 1 to 3 plowings are enough in case of light soil. When weed and the plant residue are higher, repeated plowing are necessary, and the selection of the plow on the purpose of soil condition and nature of the weed it determines the selection of the plow. For example, plow, MB plow, that is moldboard plow, that is tractor drawn, is required for the deep plowing and inversion. Moldboard plow with animal drawn for incorporation of manure, fertilizer and plant residue. Disc plow, which cuts the crop residue for cutting of creepings or spreading grasses. Then we have country plow for multi-purpose, generally traditional old plow. In this way, plowing operations play a very important role in generally to remove the hard pan from the soil, making the ideal seed bed. The next, the type of primary tillage, which include deep plowing. 1 centimeter of the surface soil over 1 hectare will weigh around 150 million tons. Therefore, deep plowing demands enormous energy. Central Research, that is CREDA, Central Research Institute for Trial and Agriculture, classified the depth of the plowing into shallow plowing, medium plowing and deep plowing. Shallow plowing at a depth of 5 to 6 centimeter, medium plowing to the depth of 15 to 20 centimeter and deep plowing to a depth of 25 to 30 centimeters. The advantage of this primary tillage is that it improves the soil structure. The perennial weed, rhizome and tuber can be destructed and improves the moisture content in the soil. The next is subsoiling. It is also a plowing operation in helping breaking the hard pan present within the soil. Generally, these are the subsoiler, where it breaks the hard pan without inversion and with less disturbance to the topsoil. Subsoiling, it breaks the hard pan without destruction, without inversion and with less disturbance to the topsoil. Narrow cut is made on the topsoil while share of the subsoiler, this part we call it as share of subsoiler, shatters the hard pan Chisel flow used to break the hard pan present up to 60 to 70 centimeter depth. The next there is another term called as year-round tillage. What is that? Tillage operation carried out throughout the year, we know it as year-round tillage. In dry farming region with receive the summer shower, field operations are carried out and repeated tillage avoids the weed growth. The tide ridging, that is enhances the response to the rainfall and fertilizer supply of nutrient to the crop. Positive effect on the yield when the rainfall is around 500 mm. This is called as tide ridging. Just make a small check basin kind of thing to store the water and operation of tillage. Then after the primary tillage, we shall discuss the secondary tillage. The lighter or finer operation performed on the soil after the primary tillage, we call it as secondary tillage, and the instrument we use in secondary tillage is harrows. So such as disc harrows, cultivars and blade harrows. The planking is crush the hard clouds to smoothen the soil surface and to compact the soil tightly. The layout of seed and sowing. The third operation in preparatory tillage is layout of seed and sowing. That is, crop specific seed bed has to be prepared based on the size of the seed, diameter of the seed. Then flat level seed bed with wheat, soybean and millet. For broad bed furrows, deep black soil, ridges and furrows for maize and sugar cane, and set line planting mainly for the groundnut and cotton in Gujarat. And after cultivation, which we call inter-cultivation operation, tillage operation that are carried out in a standing crop such as side dressing of fertilizer, earthing up and inter-cultivation. Earthing up with a country flow or ridge flow can be used. So this is how the tillage operation are done. The preparatory tillage, which include primary tillage, secondary tillage and the layout of seed bed, and after that we go with the after cultivation operation such as inter-cultivation. Thank you.